All Stop Sports. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back with another video. We're going to talk some more boxing. But first and foremost, shout out to the LDBC. Now, this weekend we have a lot of great fights taking place. I'm really excited because, personally, my favorite fighter, if I'm a fan of anybody, is Terence Crawford. He's fighting this weekend, taking on Felix Diaz. And this is my official fight prediction. This fight is taking place at Madison Square Garden in the big room. And I'm excited. I feel like Terence Crawford is a very gifted fighter, and he has the potential to go down as a Hall of Fame fighter. He is not afraid to fight anybody. I think it's kind of funny that people are criticizing the decision to fight Felix Diaz now, but when he was fighting John Molina Jr., there was talk that Crawford was ducking Felix Diaz. And now that fight is here, and somehow he's getting hated on for it. But Felix Diaz is nobody to sneeze at. This guy is definitely skilled. He's talented. As we all know, he's an Olympic gold medalist. And he scored upsets before in his career over guys like, highly touted prospect Sammy Vasquez. A lot of people think he beat Lamont Peterson in their fight. People think that the judges kind of gave Peterson a gift decision. You have to watch that fight on your own and kind of judge it with your own eyes. But for this fight, I think Terence Crawford is going to show the growth and development that he's been able to attain over the years by staying active since the performance against Yuriorkis Gamboa. A lot of people feel that this fight could be similar to the Gamboa fight, with Felix Diaz causing Crawford a little bit of trouble early, which I slightly agree with, because I think that Terence Crawford doesn't really have too much of a game plan coming into the fight. I think that, of course his coaches tell him what they see out of Felix Diaz and whoever he's fighting, but Terence Crawford has to get in and get a feel for what that fighter likes to do, and he adjusts. That's what makes him so special. He knows how to take away whatever that fighter's best weapon is and end up dictating the pace. And I see Felix Diaz, he's a very strong inside fighter. He's also slick, so Terence Crawford may miss a lot of shots early on in the fight. But once he establishes his rhythm, I would say towards the end of the second round, the start of the third round, I think he's going to start dominating Felix Diaz in a fashion that we would be surprised to see. His movement, his boxing IQ, the ability to switch stances, and his power. I think that his power is going to shock Felix Diaz to the point where he's not going to be as aggressive and as, willingly to fight with his hands down as he usually is, as we've seen in previous fights with Felix Diaz. But towards the middle of the fight, I think that's when Terence Crawford is going to start, putting his foot on the gas. And I expect him to stop Felix Diaz around the 8th round. I think it'll be impressive, very dominant fashion. He said that he's excited for this fight. His trainer, Brian Bomack, said that he's interested in unifying the titles after this fight, becoming undisputed, and immediately going up and entertaining the 147 division. And I'm excited to hear that, because I feel like that's what all these critics are going to keep saying. Well, Terence needs to move up. Terence is too big for this weight class. There's no competition at 140. But the same guys that Danny Garcia was fighting, they gave Danny Garcia credit for. Or the same guys that Danny Garcia beat are unwilling to fight Terence Crawford at the same weight. So, he could wait for a Mikey Garcia for at 135 to move up, but he wouldn't, I don't think, get real credit for beating Mikey Garcia. Lomachenko, I don't even want to even talk about that fight, because Lomachenko is just too small, as Terence Crawford has said. Now, when he moves to 147, they don't even talk about, they mentioned Keith Thurman a little bit in this interview that I heard yesterday with his trainer Bomack, saying that, those are the guys he's going to be chasing. And they asked him, what do you think about Earl Spence Jr.? And Brian McIntyre said something that I thought was very interesting. He said he's very excited for eventually seeing that fight take place, because he knows that it'll bring the best out of both fighters. And he feels that the better the opponent for Terence Crawford, the better performance he's going to put out, the better Terence Crawford's going to be. His best is going to come out when he has to fight a better opponent. And I'm excited to see him go up to 147 and silence all the doubters, because I believe the separation that he has between all the fighters is his ability to move. These guys are different. They don't have the ability to move and float around that ring like Terence Crawford does. They just do not. And that's why I think when he moves up, he's going to be more elusive than he is at 140. But that's my take on it. That's my prediction for the fight. I'm excited. Like I said, Terence Crawford's my favorite fighter out right now. I believe that he's disciplined. He does it all. And he's going to earn exactly what he deserves out this game. It's just only a matter of time. So I got Terence Crawford stopping Felix Diaz 8th round. I'll be back with some more videos later. I'll stop sports. Everybody have a good one. We out.